having us. At the Federal Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning, we have the singular task of handholding and housing the National Development Plan, which in itself is the spine of the nation's catalytic growth for both the economy and driving it to where it ought to be. Okay. Like you said, Nigeria has had development plans after independence. The first National Development Plan from 1962 to 1968 witnessed a rapid growth infrastructure across the Nigerian landscape. It was truncated by the Civil War. A new National Development Plan was also birthed after the end of the Civil War. And that also helped to accelerate the infrastructural development, economic growth, especially that Nigeria was resonating from the oil boom sector. Resources we had were driven to grow the economy. And like any other nation on the earth, for a nation to achieve where it ought to go, it needs a drive, it needs a vision, it needs a mission, it needs a strategic plan. And Nigeria had a strategic plan in action, and she was following it diligently. And it has helped the country to get to where it is today. The administration has now bettered another new agenda called Nigeria Agenda 2050, which comprises of 6 tranches of 5-year medium-term development plan. And the first of it is from National Development Plan 2021 to 2025, which is currently ending December 2025. And we have other tranches coming up. So the next tranche is from 2026 to 2030. Now, with a development plan, a nation can plan its priorities. A nation can achieve its goal and target to where it ought to be. Because all citizens, governments at every level, federal, state, and local, especially for Nigeria that has a federal structure, we own the plan. It will be domesticated within us. Every citizen will be speaking to it. So all our drive, all our developmental agenda, as it were, we speak to the plans. It will also help our budgeting cycle and process, so that the budget will be speaking to our priority areas. We will be spending as already budgeted for, not out of our budgeting cycle. In all, as a nation, the development plan is already a roadmap that we should all embrace, own, domesticate, legislate, and discipline ourselves to stick to it so that we get to where we ought to get to. That's the essence of having a development plan. Like the common adage says, if we plan to fail, if we fail to plan, we already plan to fail. Yes, so as a successful nation as we were, we need to handhold our plan, stick to it, discipline ourselves to follow it letter by letter until we achieve where we ought to go. So it's a rolling stone.
Now, what is your assessment of the existing plan, the plan that is terminating, by the end of this year? What's your assessment of the plan, key achievements, and perhaps challenges? Because that also gives you a way to look at it when you plan for the future.
The assessment of the current plan has been beautifully and masterly executed. With the renewed hope agenda of the current administration, the renewed hope agenda was a strategy that was introduced by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR to help us achieve the content of the National Development Plan. Initially, when the renewed hope agenda was birthed, it had 9 initiatives, but it was now reviewed to be able to achieve the content of the NDP 2021-25. So it was collapsed into 8 thematic areas. And those 8 thematic areas, the current administration has followed diligently to where it is. And I can successfully say that we have successfully executed those areas of the renewed hope agenda, which is speaking to the National Development Plan. The National Development Plan itself is speaking to the Nigeria Agenda 2050. So really, it has performed marvelously well. We have executed as contained in the agenda, and we are now saying that we are preparing for the successor plan to replace it from 2026 to 2030. The key thing is that Nigeria is a federal structure. There's federal, there's state, and there's local government. Every governmental structure should speak to the plan, which makes it imperative that even an average citizen must have a knowledge of what the plan is. An average Nigerian should be saying, yeah, my government has planned to make this infrastructure for us according to the current plan, as it were. We want the situation where Nigerians will own, will know, and will work in tandem with everything that the plan has outlined, which makes it mandatory that all our developmental strides of governance should be tailored, patterned according to the plan. Even international development partners should plan their initiatives aligning with the national development plan. So all federal ministries, departments, and agencies must draw their strategic plan from the national development plan. With that, we will be able to achieve good governance structure, meeting the targets and the objective as it were.
Because,